Hello, everybody, and welcome to another My Music. I'm Graham, and this is CMAGIC5. I'm going to be talking to her about her music, her life in general, and everything else in the wonderful universe. But first, we must go over to the wonderful people at Analog Trash who have put together this delightful little piece of entertainment for you. Watch it, and when you see the cat, go meow.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
We had to get the cat in there somewhere. And I don't know whether you know what's going on Instagram, whatever else. I'm old, so I'm completely out of the loop. But like everybody's been taking a photo of themselves lying with a feline friend on them today. What is that? Is that a thing that I've missed? Is it a day today that?
Honestly, I actually haven't seen that. I haven't.
Yeah, loads of
Really? Oh my goodness, I have to check that out.
loads of well, there was some on LinkedIn earlier today, which is a professional platform that I write on all of the time. And then I hopped over to Instagram thinking, oh, maybe this is just a few people on LinkedIn. And there they were, loads of musicians doing it as well. So I just wondered, what have I missed today?
That's super interesting. It's so funny because, my feed is always cats because all of my band members have cats. They're such cat people. So I always thought it was like a musician thing. I thought it was just normal. But if you're seeing it more today, then maybe it's like some special kind of cat day. I'll have to look into that after.
You have to do that. You have to. Yeah. Have you got cats of your own?
I don't. But
Right.
I do want some someday. Just when I have a little bit more time to kind of take care of them. But I heard they're like the easiest to take care of, So
You can't take care of a cat. That's the thing. Cats they belong to themselves.
Right.
Whereas dogs, right?
Yes.
They need you. Cats pretend that they need you, and then they just do what they like.
That's what I've heard. I love that though. I love that. That's very cool. Do you have any cats?
Unfortunately not. We used to have cats here. We had several cats here, but they kept going missing.
Oh no.
Yeah, and we think it was the neighbours. We think, shocking horror. And actually, this let everybody into this now. We think some of the neighbours actually kept killing them.
No.
Really? Yeah.
Why? For what reason?
Because they didn't like cats.
Oh my goodness.
And because they were illegally keeping chickens.
So they're chicken people. Okay.
So they're chicken people, illegal chicken people who didn't like cats because they thought the cats might eat the chickens.
Oh my goodness, that's brutal. What
It
a
is brutal.
cruel world. Oh my goodness. Well, may those cats rest in peace and go
Thank
to
you.
heaven. Aw, that's
Shocking.
sad.
Shocking. Anyway, I'm now a dog person, and our dog, he's just down there. He's fast asleep, but he looks a bit like this.
Aw, he's a cutie. Aw,
He's a little mini Dutch hound.
so pretty.
And
Beautiful.
he's a great music fan as well.
Love it. We love that. Little companion in the studio. That's awesome.
Now listen. By the way, love the headgear.
Thank you.
What's going on underneath there? Can you explain what's going on underneath? Is there is there hair where it sticks up at the top, or is that just like?
No, you know what? It's so funny. I actually just got back from a workout and I was like, you know what? It's a bit greasy up there today. I feel like I could be very open with you. So I was like, you know what? This is a cute hat. And it's got the cat ears.
It's
too.
got cat ears.
It's meant to be, So I was like, you know what? I feel like this is the vibe today. So that's what we're going to go with. I love hats. I have a bunch of different hats, baseball caps, like cat ears, double ears. So it's always something. I wanted to do something special for our little chat today. So yeah.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Cheers.
CMAGIC5. Now, where does that come from? For anybody that doesn't know, where did that get dreamt up?
Yeah, great question. So it was actually a name that I came up with when I was very little. And it was the first name that I used for my Instagram account. And the C corresponds to the initial of my first name, which I may reveal someday. For now, I like to keep the mystery alive.
Oh, that's like me with my middle names. No
Really?
one's ever going to find them out.
Top secret.
If they find them out, I have to kill them, unless they're in my secret community, in which case they can know them.
See, there you go. That's exact. I feel like we connect on so many levels. And then the 5 is my lucky number because I was born on the 5th day of the 5th month. And I've always noticed ever since I was little, there's always this kind of like cool magic in music that like words can't even describe. And as cliche as it sounds, it's like music is magic. It does so many things for so many of us. And I can't imagine life without music. So music is magic.
So for you, it's not 3 that's the magic number, it's 5.
It's 5. Yeah.
It's 5. 5 is the magic number. Yes, it is. I like it. And so you ran that all together.
Yeah.
And it feels like, though, that could be something that you could inhabit, like almost an alternative universe as a CMAGIC5, or you could be.
Yes, exactly. You're nailing it right now. You're totally getting it, Graham, because it's exactly what I envisioned growing up. I was like, for me, CMAGIC5 is almost like my alter ego. I feel like it's not a different persona per se, but it is the best parts of myself, and it's like the highlight version of me. It's me in its best version. So it's like, for me, as soon as I step onto that stage, all fears, all worries go away. That is my natural habitat. For me, that is when the alter ego comes alive and it's like ready to take on the world. So for me, that's where it comes from, for sure.
And listen, as someone that used to tread the boards and sing in front of people and all of that sort of thing, I totally get that, right?
Yes.
And you can be completely more confident, you can be someone completely different in front of other people. How are you finding that in terms of things like social media? Are you able to step into that persona when it comes to social media, or does that take a little bit more time when it's social media? Do you have to sometimes go, right, give me 5 minutes and then I'll be CMAGIC5?
That's another great question. For me, I find it easier because as soon as I step into CMAGIC5, it comes so naturally to me. It's honestly, it feels like it's the parts of myself that I've been shying away growing up, going to school and things like that. So for me, it's easier to step into. And then when cameras are on, things like that, when I'm making, videos for TikTok, social media, it feels honestly more authentic than I am, when I'm not like CMAGIC5. So in a way, it's strange. It's like, I wish I could always do that, but it's nice to have a little bit of that, a little bit of the privacy at home and things like that. When you're going to school, it's like none of my friends knew who I was. But I do think, to answer your question, it's actually easier. Social media has helped in so many different ways. I feel like it gives you that opportunity to be able to showcase, okay, this is who CMAGIC5 is. This is what her character, her personality is. It goes beyond the music, right? So it's being able to, and also connecting with new audiences, new listeners out there who are like, hey, she's got a cool vibe, or, I relate to her lyrics and things like that. So for me, it's been such a important asset, important tool, especially in this day and age when technology is always like constantly changing and advancing. So I actually studied digital management. So for me, it's like, it's very much in like the pros, the advantage.
And you can tell that because you look at your little reels and stuff that you're producing for Instagram, TikTok, etc. And they're like little TV shorts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They would not be amiss if they weren't like, sort of like little trailer bits for the Descendants or something like that. You've got really great lighting. You've got great sound. You tell a little story in there. You're not just talking to camera.
Yeah,
I like it. I like the whole setup.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just tell people that maybe look at those things which ultimately will then last for a minute and a half or whatever. How long does that take? When you go and you film one of those things and you put it together and you come up with you conceptualize, how long from start to finish does all of that take?
Are you talking about like social media videos or music?
Yeah,
social media.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that long because what I do is I do like to dedicate, I'd say, one day of the week where I do the content planning.
You do it all at once. Yeah.
Exactly. Kind of like the batch stuff. So like I do that first, the brainstorming day. That's usually like, maybe on the weekend for me when I have a little bit more downtime. I'm not like answering 500 emails that day or something. But what I do is the content planning, which is I find so fun. It's such a vibe. I get to like, I love going to coffee shops, just getting out my laptop, putting on my headphones on and just like brainstorming. And then what I do is I also spend another day just dedicated for shooting all that content, putting on different outfits, just sorry to ruin the dream, but they are not filmed usually on different days. I like to kind of get them in on one, unless it's like, okay, I have a rehearsal one day. I want to do like a get ready with me, or I have a TV recording. Like those, of course, are like separate days where I do little vlogs and stuff. But usually I try to kind of manage my time that way, just so it's easier and that I'm constantly feeding my audiences with new content, just to not leave them feeling hungry for more, which is actually what I should be doing. But yeah, I try to maintain a consistent schedule just so that there's always something. And sometimes ideas do come like randomly when I'm just like in the shower, in the car. So of course, those ideas I act on right away, and I might just like pull out my phone and just do something a little bit more like direct on the spot. So yeah, it varies, but like that's usually how I like to.
We should give a health warning at this point because listen, kids, if you're going to have content ideas in the shower, just make sure you're away from the water before you touch electrical goods. Okay.
Yes, that is a good warning.
It could be dangerous, laptops and showers don't really go together very well.
I don't think so. No.
Very, very expensive. I used to work in and around coffee shops a lot. Now I work here primarily, but I used to go out and then sort of go to coffee shop after coffee shop after coffee shop.
Yes.
A, have you got a coffee addiction? B, do you find that you people watch an awful lot? And do you get inspiration just from watching everyday life going on?
I feel like you just described me so well. Yes, I love coffee. I love coffee in general. I love going to different coffee shops, trying.
What's your order? What's your typical order? Just so that if people meet you, they can buy you a free coffee. Go on.
Oh, I would love that. My favorite is a caramel macchiato with oat milk.
Ooh, yeah. There you go. You know now. Write that down, folks.
Yes, please write it down. I love coffee.
if you see CMAGIC out and about in a coffee shop and you need to buy that for her first, right?
Yes, please. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. And yes, to question B, I do people watch. I feel like today, who doesn't? But no, it's inspiring. Like it's so crazy for me at least to think like everyone's in their own little world and they all have their own like lives going on, especially like when you pass by like an apartment, a condo, or like a building and you see like the little boxes, but everyone's like doing their own thing. Someone could be watching TV, someone's preparing dinner, and for me, I don't know, I find that so fascinating.
Well, I was talking to another musician the other day. I was saying that one of my favorite places of all time was service stations. I don't know whether you have service stations like that in the US. So like on the freeway and whatever, do you have like stops where you can stop and like everybody gathers together and has coffee or something to eat and then moves on?
Oh, yes, for sure. Yeah, the en route things. Yeah, we do. Yeah. Those are great places to stop and like people watch. I know, because people from all over going to so many different places.
Yeah, from so many different backgrounds.
Cool. Yeah. I know, so diverse. Yeah, especially here in Canada, like it's so diverse, and I love it.
Yeah. When did you first start making music?
I always say, ever since I was a little girl, but actually way beyond that, my parents would tell me these stories that it started actually since I was in my mother's womb. So
right.
Yeah, my dad, it's a funny story. So my dad was actually the one who introduced me first to music. He would play his favorite classic rock hits, AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, all the time, really, really loud, like at home. And then my mom said that she would notice to feel this aggressive, like vigorous kicking in her stomach from me. And then they would be like, is she having like a rock concert in there? Or is she having a party? And so I always say I was a music baby at heart. Might have had like a little electric guitar in there as well. Who knows? We don't know. But it started ever since that moment, which I think was so cool. And then, I kept for me, it was like I was involved into the arts as a whole. I love to sing, dance, and act. So I did Broadway musical theater
Wow.
performances every summer, where I would play these really cool lead roles like Simba from The Lion King. And it was really fun because I got to do dancing and acting and singing as well. So I did these living room performances for friends and family where I would like handwrite tickets and pretend to sell them to my guests, not even knowing what that even was at the time. But my family and friends loved it, and they noticed, hey, this is more than just a hobby. This is a passion. This is something that I knew I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And then fast forward a little bit to my elementary school years, which were challenging with bullying at school. That's when I first discovered my passion for songwriting. I was actually gifted an acoustic guitar for my birthday that year, and I just taught myself how to play a few chords. And in a matter of just like a few hours, I wrote my first EP. I was like 12 years old. And I always, to this day, look back on that with gratitude, because that's when I discovered my passion for songwriting, and I had a gift for it. And the ability to storytell and just let out my emotions without any fear of judgment, I think was something very, very cool. And now looking at where I am today, working with Juno and Grammy Award winning producers and songwriters, working towards my upcoming EP, Happy Never After, I always look back on that moment with gratitude. So that's kind of a little bit of the timeline of how I got started.
I'm sorry you got bullied.
Thank you. I know it's tough, but I feel like a lot of us do go through it. But
Yeah,
we all find our way out of it.
it's true. It's true. I think especially if there's just something. What was it? Because you were quite quiet. Were you quite quiet then? Was it just because you were?
I was a quiet kid. I was
Yeah.
shy. I was like poles apart from who I am today. And that's like, it took me a while to kind of discover like who I truly am. Right. So I wasn't good at standing up for myself. That's something that I had to learn the hard way. Just letting people walk over me and yeah, exactly. So music gave me that confidence. And now today I'm like able to, get on that stage and be like, hey guys, listen to me, so it's really empowering in that sense. And that's exactly what I want my listeners to feel when they hear my music, is just feeling that sense of self-empowerment through music. When you're your own cheerleader at the end of the day. You might not have someone pumping you up at all times, being like, hey, you got this. But sometimes you just have to be your own hero in your story. So
Yeah. Do you still feel that insecurity come back from time to time? Maybe not in your music, but in other areas of your life. And how do you deal with that?
yeah, so obviously I think when I'm in my CMAGIC5 zone doing my thing, there is no time to think about any of that for me. Like I said, as soon as I step into that kind of persona, all of the fears and everything goes away, fear of judgment, everything. That is my like truest, most badass self. And that's why I love doing what I do. But of course there are times, where it's like after the show, you go back home, and it's like that when the adrenaline's like, reached its peak. And then after you're like, you have the periods of when for me, it's more like when I'm not so busy, which like right now I'm super busy, but which I'm grateful for. But it's during the moments of stillness a little bit where I do think back to like who I was and things like that. But then I just remind myself, like, how do I deal with that? Okay, like moments of insecurity and stuff. Yeah, no. So to answer your question, I do face it. I'm a girl. I do face that time to time. And I think a lot of us still do. But then you look at how far you've come and the things that you are really good at, and you just pump yourself up. It's all about affirmations. And that's why I do
Yeah.
believe in doing affirmations. I try to do that every day whenever I can. And it's been helping a lot. So I think it's just that little voice in your head that you have to control a little bit. So as soon as you notice that voice in your head telling you something that is not going to be good for you, you just have to flip the script on that and just say the opposite. Be like, instead of, hey, why do I look this way? Why do I feel this way? Be like, no, I feel strong today, or I'm my best self today. So that's something that's helped me for sure.
Some of my favourite singers over the years who have had like an alter ego, etc., and a different name as well.
Yeah.
At one point in their career, they've done something where they've started writing lyrics as them and their alter ego, and they've kind of stepped between the two. I mean, do you sometimes, or do you think in the future you might do that? You might sort of step into your kind of more vulnerable self and like start to write there and then step into CMAGIC5 and kind of finish the song there and, you know, kind of take people on the journey as both?
That's actually a great idea. That just gave me a songwriting idea. So thank you for that. Maybe, I do have to say maybe that might be like a cool concept one day. I feel like when more people get to know me as C Magic 5, I think that's when, I'll start to kind of take them behind the scenes on, okay, like let's showcase the other side of me, a bit more. I think part of like, it's not an issue, but like part of what's happening is the more and more I let myself get consumed into this, it's like the more I start to like embody that persona even more. So it's really, really like starting to sink in and really like becoming my full personality. So I don't think the other side of me like will ever fade away. Like I'm talking about them like two different people when they're not, but it's just like the parts of, yourself that you don't really post on social media and things like that. So I do want to be as authentic as possible with my listeners and audiences. But right now, while it's still in the emerging stages, I do want to get the name CMAGIC5 out there first before anything else, without any distractions or anything in the way. And then it's like, okay, once you get to know me, here's the other side of me kind of thing. The parts that, we don't glorify like on social media. So, yeah.
Okay, so dad and mum, or dad in particular, was playing
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses, AC/DC and whatever to you when you were in the womb and you were vibing that, etc. But what was the bit of music that really changed your life, that made you go, whoa, I've got to do this?
I think it was a mix of these two genres that I am doing right now, which I would say is pop rock. And that's actually what the sound is for my upcoming EP, pop rock, blending these two genres that I love so very dearly. That's the thing about me. I love so many different genres, but at the end of the day, I love music that makes me feel so good about myself, that makes me want to get up in the morning and just like kick ass. And for me, I found that energy in rock music.
And you've got the voice for it as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So there's something about rock. It's just that energy that for me, it makes me feel so alive. It makes me like, I feel like if I could describe my alter ego in a certain way, I would say like any classic like rock song. So I wanted to kind of encapsulate that energy from the rock sound. I love electric guitars with distortion. I love those anthemic riffs and things like that. But then I fell in love with like the catchy earworm melodies of pop music and a little bit of dance that makes me want to dance and just like party and like feel so good and empowered. So I was like, okay, why don't I blend the two? And it's obviously it's done before, right? But for me, it's like I didn't want to kind of choose to stick in one lane. And I love, I've been getting a lot more into punk recently as well. That's something I've been listening to a lot of. So I was like, if I could describe my sound, I'd say it's edgy pop rock with like punk infused energy. So it's got like flavors and bits of, my childhood and everything of like here and there. It's just kind of like all in a mixing pot. And I think that's what makes, me unique as an artist. So. Yeah.
There's some great punk acts or sort of, punk foundation type acts around again at the moment, which are great. You may need to learn some more swear words, though. If you, I think I do.
I need to expand my vocab for sure. Everyone keeps saying that. Like my band members tell me, for your live shows, like if you're doing like a punk show, like you got to learn some more swear words. I'm like, okay, I'll work on it.
Have you seen the a TV show that we have over here called The Last Leg? Have you ever seen that?
I don't think so. What's that?
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. So after this, you can Google this, right?
Okay.
And you will love it. So Amyl and the Sniffers were on The Last Leg with their song Jerking. I don't know whether you know Amyl and the Sniffers, but really great punk. And virtually every other word is a swear word. So the presenter had a big button and he had to like press it every time so to bleep out the swear words as she was singing live. It's
oh
hilarious.
My gosh, that's so funny.
It's hilarious. It's that is your education for you afterwards, and maybe so if you do a punk song, maybe you could have someone with a bleep machine on stage.
Yes. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'll come along and do that. I'll press the button.
Okay, so I'll do my homework first. I'll do some studying. I'm very good at studying. So I will do my homework and then we will set something up and you could be the...
Thank you. I'll make sure that happens. Tell us, so you've already played with some great other artists. You know, you're going on support with some great great musicians. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? How does that all come about? How did that happen?
Yeah, I'm actually super excited to be able to share this finally. So, I do say I started off the year on a high note, opening for the Canadian legendary band Simple Plan, for those of you who are maybe fans of them. For me, that was like a dream come true because I did grow up listening to them. I've always wanted to do a New Year's Eve show. And so for me, that was a big check mark off of my bucket list of things to do. So opening for Simple Plan was amazing. It was an amazing experience. And then getting to meet them backstage was so cool because it was so funny because our green rooms were literally right beside each other. And that's when the shyness, the shy girl in me came out a little bit. I was fangirling. I was like, there's no way I'm going in. So in moments like that, yes, I do see part of my old self come out. So in that moment, I was like, no, let's see CMAGIC5 take over. And my band was like, go say hi. You only get these opportunities once in a lifetime. So I was like, okay. I kind of went in with my photographer. I knocked on their door. I was like, hey, I'm your next door neighbor. And they were so, I couldn't think of anything else to say. They were like,
it was me on the stage earlier.
Yeah, it was me. They're like, oh, you're our opener. I was like, yes. And it was so funny because they were thanking me. They were like, thank you so much for opening for us. I'm like, no, don't thank me. Thank you guys for having me as headliners. So that was a really cool experience. And then I'm also super excited to announce that I will be making my debut in the US for my first tour and first time performing in the US this spring in May 2025. I'll be opening for a super cool band called Young Medicine, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, it's going to be a nice short run. So if you guys are in any of the cities, check out the poster on my Instagram. If you're in any of the cities, please do come by, say hi. It's going to be a fun time. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to more live performances throughout the year. And then summer is festival season. That's when festival season hits, which I'm always super thrilled about because it's a wild ride. There's performances every weekend, back to back. It's a fun time for sure. Going to different cities in Canada, meeting you guys, meeting everyone. It's awesome.
Yeah. Are we getting you over here to the UK at any point?
I want to so bad. I've been getting so many requests on social media, and so people are like, when are you coming to the UK? I'm like, I need to very soon. That is definitely the dream of mine.
What's your festival of choice for over here? Would it be Reading and Leeds, something like that, or Donington? Monsters of Rock? Where would you sit?
I think a little bit everywhere. I feel like you guys have so many cool things. I think you also do
the big one, Glastonbury.
Yes, that one, that for sure. That's on the top of my list. What would you say, Graham, is something I have to play at? What would be the best festival for me?
I definitely think you'd go down well at Reading or Leeds. I think you've got to do Glastonbury though. You've got to do Glastonbury. I mean, it's only half an hour up the road from me, and it's just it's just like the pinnacle of musical festivals in the world, really. I think. Yeah. The diversity that's there, and just the history of it is kind of second to none. Really.
Oh, that would be amazing. That is definitely on a list of mine, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that comes true soon. So, yeah.
Cool. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. But before you go and leave us, and we want people to then go and investigate your music and add it to playlists and all of the wonderful things that come with that, how can the people out there help you?
Great question, and thank you for asking that. So for anyone listening, every listen to my song, every listen, every like, every comment, every engagement really, really does help me, especially as an independent artist. At the end of the day, it's not about the numbers, but the quality of the interaction. So I really am big on, responding to every comment. That's something that I love doing because you guys really, really do keep me going. And I love reading every one of your comments, just engaging with you because we're all real people at the end of the day and we want to help each other out. So do come say hi. I'm very, very interactive. So you'll really have a good time anywhere. Favorite social media platform, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you're at, do come say hi. And if you're in any, stay tuned for any live shows. If you're in any of the cities where I'm performing, please do come by and say hi. Listen to the music. I do have a new single coming out every single month up to my EP release in summer 2025. My next song will be coming out next month, so I'm very excited about that. Stay tuned. And yeah, keep listening, and I can't wait to share more music with you all. And thank you so much for having me, Graham.
Oh, no, an absolute pleasure. Also, CMAGIC5 will be creating a magic range of merch at some point as well, including cat hats.
Yes, we need to have this on the merch. Oh my goodness, that's a great idea. Yes. Okay, I'll make it just for you guys. I'll send you one too, Graham.
Thank you. But no, seriously, folks, if you are supporting an artist, go and see them live, buy the T-shirt, put the song on as many playlists as possible, share, and thank the artist. Stop and say, thank you very much, because it takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of heart, soul, and everything else to produce this music. And there's nothing like saying thank you. It's a wonderful thing. You've been an absolute pleasure to have here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I had so much fun. This was a blast. Thank you,
folks. This is CMAGIC5. This is my music. I hope you've enjoyed this today. If you have, then press the buttons that do the share thing and all of that. You know how it works and all of that thing. We'll be back soon with more of the same. But until then, look after yourselves. Bye for now.